How I got into music was, I think through my mom, mostly. She had, I think when we were in Barbados, I came across her CD collection, and in the whole collection, she had like over like 200 CDs. Like it was like a pretty big book, and like classic stuff from like Outkast, like Black Sheep, Eric B and Rakim, Gangstar, like Digging in the Crates, Pun. For like me being 22 now, like it's like pretty uncommon for like an artist like my age to like start like with like the fundamentals, but that's like how I got in. I started from like point A and then made my way up, you know, and then slowly got into like the Bad Boy era, like, you know, Leaders of the New School, the whole Native Tongue family. Like I was super into like all that stuff, like Diggable Planets, you know, like that was my shit back then. And then I got into R&B a lot, like R&B, like my mom would always play that throughout the house. So like that's just like that's like within me, you know. If I could sing, I'd probably be a singer, but you know, can't. So I've always got to step up. There's not much to do when you're like constantly moving, and you know you hate moving at a young age. So the only thing I really had to find peace was the music. I had this thing where I would have like these notebooks, and I would like write albums out, and like once I had one notebook finished with like 2 albums in it, I was like, it's cool. So like it became like a thing where I would just like want to like stack notebooks up, and like they were all just filled with like raps. My mom actually found them recently, and I told her not to look in it, but my little brother looked in it, and he was saying shit on the phone about the stuff that was being written in it. I'm just like, that is like, it just brought me back to that time. I first recorded my first song in like 2008, 2007. I think I was like 15, with the help of this guy back in Toronto. Pretty much a big part of my career. This guy named JB. We did that song. The first song I ever recorded, actually, we shot a video for it, and the video got onto Much Music, which is like the equivalent to like MTV in Canada. No one noticed that I stuttered in like the second verse of the song. I don't know how anyone didn't like pick up on that, but I fucked up in the song. But they just like ran with it, you know. So I was just like, oh fuck. But it's off YouTube right now. But I think it's on Vimeo somewhere. You can find it, look it up. Just don't tell me you watched it. You know, have your laugh. It's fine. But I don't want to know if you watched it or not. But it's not embarrassing or anything. Like I was just young, you know. So yeah, 15, and then me and my boy Lance would just start recording in his grandma's basement. I was back and forth from school, which I was in Connecticut at the time, so like Connecticut and Toronto. And then once I graduated school, I ended up in Toronto, and then me and Lance just started going heavy. And the relationship with my mom is kind of weird. Well, it was kind of weird for a very long time, because, you know, I'm her firstborn, you know. I'm the one that she wants to, like, you know, brag about to her friends and stuff like that, you know. So like for a while, like she didn't really like gauge in like what I was doing. Like, you know, it's probably like a fantasy world like that this kid's living in and stuff, you know. And then like I also felt like we were kind of distant for a long time, because I was also in boarding school and like she was away, and like overseas. So like our communication was like very like frigid at times. But that video that I just mentioned, my godmother saw it on TV, called my mama. My godmother's like, do you know your son's on TV? She's like, who? I'm like, what other son would you have that's like on TV? And she was like, Jazz. She called me, and then she was like, well, like, so like, what kind of Ponzi scheme are like you up to now? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, well, I told you I was gonna do it, and you doubted me. Long story short, she's literally like the biggest fan. But when she's talking to me, she's the biggest hater. But you know, it's love though. I realize now that I'm older, that I'm a lot like my mom. Now we're kind of like best friends. So it's like good to have that now. My mom surprised me for the show I had in Toronto with Joey Badass. Prior to that, it was probably like 3 years since I seen her. I had that show with Joey Badass, and she watched the whole thing, and I didn't even know she was there. Yeah, it was Mother's Day, and my homegirl Kirsten, she called me out that day, and she asked me. She said that she was in my neighborhood. She asked me what my favorite flowers were, but like people have been asking that for like a long time. So like I thought they just figured, you know, I'm Jacuzzi LaFleur, like what my favorite flower was, you know, blah blah blah. She was in on the scheme with my mom and my girl Bahar. So after the show, I was chilling. I was really dying for a cigarette, and before I had one, Mom came in. She surprised me. Yeah, I was very lit, but like it was kind of crazy because like I saw her, it was like for like, what, like 10 minutes? And then she was gone. She was like, all right, bye. And she left. I'm just like, cool, you know? I'll just chill here and like, you know, like that didn't just happen, you know? She fucks me like that. She does shit like that. She'll like do some outrageous shit, like fly to like the next country to see me and just be like, all right, fuck off, I'll like see you later.
We keep getting frustrated and turning a blind eye, and you gotta ask yourself what the next generation gonna be like. And after that, you know, everybody's on there, it's about me, fuck everybody else kind of kick.
I remember it was so foul and I didn't know how to handle it, and I was already in the game, I was already checked in, and so I just kind of panicked.
We actually got to go in the studio and record with Wyclef, and it was so dope watching him work because he was just like, just a one-man band.
I called the girls like, yo, we're coming to your mansion, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay with you, but I'm not gonna fuck you, like, let's just chill. And of course, in the middle of the night, she starts sucking me off. She's like, yo, how are you gonna sleep with a porn star and not sleep with a porn star?